Most people believe money reacts to the world. An event happens, news spreads, confidence shifts, and then markets respond. This belief feels natural because it mirrors human behavior. We wait for information, interpret what we see, and then decide how to act. But the financial system does not operate on this sequence. It does not wait for clarity. It moves long before most people realize there is anything to respond to. This is why economic outcomes often feel confusing in hindsight. By the time an event becomes visible, the consequences are already locked in. Prices may still look calm, access may still appear normal, but the real adjustments have already taken place beneath the surface. What follows is not a reaction. It is a delayed recognition. There is a reason markets often appear stable just before disruption. Stability at the surface does not indicate inactivity below. It indicates that movement is occurring where visibility is not required. The system does not signal its intentions. It does not warn participants. It repositions quietly, and only later allows the effects to appear. Time inside the economy is not experienced equally. For individuals, time feels linear and restrictive. Deadlines arrive whether you are ready or not. Delays create anxiety. Waiting feels like loss. But for large systems, time is not a constraint. It is a tool. The ability to act early, even marginally early, produces advantage that compounds without effort. This difference in temporal access is one of the least discussed forms of inequality. Some participants operate in a future that others cannot see yet. They are not guessing, they are responding to signals that arrive earlier, clearer, and with less noise. By the time information becomes public, it is no longer actionable. Most people are taught to pay attention to outcomes. Prices rising, rates changing, headlines breaking. These are presented as causes, but they are effects. Systems do not move because prices change. Prices change because systems have already moved. What the system actually watches are inputs, subtle shifts in funding costs, quiet changes in policy language, minor adjustments in collateral requirements, small delays in settlement windows. None of these generate headlines. None of them demand attention. But together, they reveal direction. To someone trained to observe outcomes, these signals seem insignificant. To the system, they are decisive. The economy does not wait for consensus. It responds to structure. This is why financial shocks feel sudden, not because they are unpredictable, but because the prediction occurred elsewhere. The public experiences the moment of impact. The system experienced a long period of preparation. Timing advantage creates a psychological illusion. When the system moves early, it appears calm. When the public finally reacts, it appears chaotic. In reality, the chaos is not the cause of movement. It is the confirmation that movement has already finished. This dynamic explains why recovery often feels uneven and unfair. Some participants emerge stronger almost immediately, while others struggle to regain footing. This is not always due to intelligence, effort, or foresight. It is often due to position in time. Those who moved early are no longer exposed. Those who waited are forced to adjust under pressure. The system rewards anticipation, not understanding. Another hidden aspect of temporal advantage is that it reduces the need for precision. Acting early allows for error. Acting late requires accuracy. When you move before conditions tighten, you can afford to be wrong and adjust quietly. When you move after, mistakes become visible and costly. This is why early actors appear calm during volatility. Their decisions were not made under stress. They were made when options were still flexible. The system protects those who move before urgency appears. Meanwhile, individuals are trained to wait for certainty. They are told to be patient, informed, and responsible. But certainty arrives only after opportunity has passed. Clarity is not a gift. It is a signal that positioning is complete. This creates a subtle form of behavioral control. People are not told to wait. They are taught to value caution. They internalize delay as wisdom. In doing so, they surrender timing advantage without realizing it. The system does not need to hide this. It benefits from it being normalized. Another reason this structure persists is that early movement is rarely visible as action. It does not look dramatic. It does not resemble panic or urgency. It appears as minor adjustments, quiet reallocations, or inactivity. To an untrained observer, nothing seems to be happening, but absence of movement at the surface often indicates movement at depth. This is also why narratives about financial success often feel misleading. They focus on decisions rather than timing. They praise insight while ignoring when that insight was acted upon. The story is simplified because the truth is uncomfortable. Advantage is often gained before anyone else is allowed to notice. Timing itself becomes a form of capital. Those closest to the system are not necessarily smarter or more disciplined. They are simply earlier access to information, earlier awareness of constraint, earlier ability to reposition. This early access compounds in ways effort cannot replicate. The system does not punish those who arrive late. It simply assigns them a different role. Late participants provide liquidity. They absorb volatility. They stabilize outcomes for those who have already exited. This is why markets require reaction. Reaction completes the cycle. It transfers exposure from early movers to late responders. The system depends on this flow. From the inside, this feels impersonal. From the outside, it feels unjust. But the system does not operate on fairness. It operates on sequence. Understanding this does not grant foresight. It does not provide secret signals or shortcuts. But it reframes confusion. When outcomes feel sudden, they are rarely spontaneous. When events feel unfair, they are often prearranged by timing rather than intent. The economy most people experience is not the economy that decides outcomes. It is the echo of decisions made earlier, elsewhere, and without visibility. By the time something becomes obvious, it is no longer actionable. This is the final discomfort. The system does not reward awareness after the fact. It rewards placement before the fact. And most people are trained to look for confirmation rather than position. Money does not wait for you to understand it. It moves when the system allows it to move. And by the time you are invited to react, it has already gone where it needed to go.